Right now, is the vibrate happy now? I'm sorry. Now is the vibrate. Not too far in the future, not too far in the past. Right now, I'm kind of sluggish. I'm just kind of coming from a little light nap. Matter of fact, spoiler alert before I get into what I'm about to get into. About to speak on briefly because I didn't get much into it. I was only just recently introduced to it, but this show called American Gods that's on I think it's on one of the channels, one of the Stars channels or whatever. But it's a show called American Gods, and I forgot the name of the author, but the author wrote the book first. Matter of fact, this guy is a genius. Just looking at the few little storylines and aspects of the story that I've seen already, like the whole idea of it, genius, you know what I'm saying? And basically, again, spoiler alert, but it's basically somewhat of a personification of in America, we personified gods, being, in human vessels or whatever. And it's basically like the old gods are about to go to war with the newer gods. And, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna get into a few of the names of the guys that they have in the show. Matter of fact, and some of them I don't have the full names, but just to give you an idea of the characters, like some of them I could relate, like Orlando Jones is in it, so I could say Orlando Jones plays this character. But some characters I don't know the name of the person who's playing them, so I just have to give you an idea of what God is in it, but I just may not know that person's name. But I'm about to get into it. Matter of fact, one of the main characters who is following is a guy called Shadow Moon. Matter of fact, he's a character that's in jail or whatever, and he's like the character in essence that you could say the guy, old guys and new guys are trying to get him to join sides with either or. As a matter of fact, I see the personification of Shadow Moon, like his character as a person who's awakened and probably remembering their own God within, and because he has that awareness, he's connected with the old gods, new gods, and that's why they coming to him. So I see it as a personification, man. A lot of good symbolism and just the whole situation. As a matter of fact, he's connected with a brother named Mr. Wednesday. Matter of fact, when I heard that name, I'm like, all right, I know it's tied to breaking down the name of Wednesday, which it is. So Mr. Wednesday is actually the god Odin. Matter of fact, Wednesday derived from the Germanic god Woden. Wednesday, Woden's day. So Woden, and then Woden turns into Odin, but Odin is the father of Thor. And matter of fact, even though Thor is not in the actual show, just to to see symbolism though, like Odin is the father of Thor and his name is Mr. Wednesday. Well, Thor deals with Thursday, Thor's day. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, and Shango, what I'm saying, dealing with Santeria also deals with Thursday because he deals with lightning. It's the deities all across the board. But matter of fact, he got like a little scar on his eye because he sacrificed his eye for knowledge. So that's how you could also know that character. Then you have a character, uh, Mad Sweeney. Now I don't know if this is the actor's name or the actual character's name. I can't remember, but Mad Sweeney. But basically, is a guy. He has orange hair or like red hair because he's a leprechaun slash he could be considered a like a mad king from Irish folklore, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I get some of this information from another video and then went and did my own little research as far as like looking at the gods, but like as far as the characters, I looked at a couple of videos of other people, saying because a few guys myself after just watching it, I picked up on who they were, but I did look at some other videos to just get the basis of the ground knowledge of it. But yeah, Mad Sweeney basically is like a leprechaun. And matter of fact, and it shows them going through different lifetimes, being in the old country to, wherever they come from to being in America, you know what I'm saying? The reason why they came to America. So it like plays it like they're really the gods who they are, but they also like in human form and actually, living like humans in essence. So it's real genius. Then you got a guy called I don't know the character carry a big hammer. Matter of fact, he killed cows with his hammer. His name is Trinabog. Trinabog is basically he's like a black guy. Matter of fact, using them terminologies, playing them word games, but consider a black god or evil god or whatever. Matter of fact, it comes from Slavic tradition, pre-Christian Slavic tradition, and Trinabog is also in one of the Disney movies, Fantasia, the evil black looking thing with the wings or whatever. That's supposed to be Trinabog also. So Trinabog is in American Gods. Then you got Bilquis, which interestingly, she is a queen of Sheba. And Queen of Sheba was considered like the mythology behind her was that she was secretly or possibly like a jinn, half human, half jinn. Matter of fact, Queen of Sheba deals with if you know the King Solomon Queen of Sheba story, whether it's in the Bible or you have the Kebra Nagras, which tells the story also. And matter of fact, King Solomon had tested that theory by pouring out some water and trying to get her to pick up her dress, like so she could not let the water hit her dress, so she could pick up her dress so her feet could show, and so he could see if she was a jinn or not. Matter of fact, King Solomon, if you pay attention to the stories, like with the baby story where he made you know, the mother crying over her baby or whatever, and he found a smart way to help him make that decision. But same thing he did with the Queen of Sheba to see if she was Queen of Sheba to see if she was demon. But anyway, Queen of Sheba is in the American God story. Matter of fact, she's kind of like she deals with love and lust, and in the thing in the spoiler alert in the show, she actually like works as a prostitute. Matter of fact, black chick works as a prostitute and she sucks after she finished having sex. Matter of fact, while she having sex, she make the person like say my name, this and that, and then she sucks them up through her vagina. You know what I'm saying? And that's a personification of strong sexual kundalini energy or something. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing too, like the symbologies between of like the symbologies of what these different characters deal with. Which they deal with the real situations of the mythology that come with their stories, but also like a little added twist that. In fact, I wish I had the author's name. I'm gonna get it and put it under the video. Then you got Mr. Nancy. Matter of fact, and how I brought up Orlando Jones earlier is played by Orlando Jones. And Mr. Nancy is basically a Nancy. It's a spider spirit in West African tradition. Matter of fact, in the American tradition, they broke it down even further into some books called Ain't Nat, Aunt Nancy, dealing with a bride or rabbit or whatever. But basically, the spider spirit is like a trickster and a god of stories, saying like the story is that he asked the god of the skies for like all the stories, all the knowledge of all the stories in the universe or whatever, and ended up getting it that way. But he's a trickster spirit. But again, a Nancy. Matter of fact, I like that he has like you know gods of different diasporas. You know what I'm saying? Different places. Matter of fact, now I can tell like that he does kind of like a Norse mythology or a Northern Germanic mythology, but for the most part, he got everything pretty balanced, pretty everywhere. And next you got Easter, or Ishtar. You know what I'm saying? The god of fertilization. Matter of fact, in the movie, she deals with resurrection and has a healing kiss. And there's no coincidence. Matter of fact, for one, fertilization, that's where the Easter egg come from in the symbology of the rabbit. The rabbits, very fertile themselves. And resurrection, because on around the time of Easter, you know, a certain planet, or should I say solar body, resurrects, when it and that story was turned into a story about a human being, or a made up person called Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So, you see she has resurrection powers and she has a healing kiss where she could kiss and heal, but you know, it's funny how she deals with resurrection, being Easter or Ishtar. And that's real how they actually put that on blast because, back in the, put it like this, by exposing that, it exposes that Easter is not really a holiday and that it is a god named Easter or Ishtar before it was, you know, uh, Easter or holiday or whatever. And matter of fact, another person that's in here, you know what I'm saying, which was kind of tight and it surprised me, and even the storyline with it was real. But since I just spoke on Easter, your old boy JC, oh Jesus, and what's tight about it? They actually made it realistic where like Jesus in the story could actually takes the different forms of what people believe him to look like. So he could either look black or brown or Hispanic or the hippie white like the Caesar Borgia look like, however he's personified by his surroundings, which I haven't got into it, his appearances in the show yet. But just from what I looked up on videos and stuff, yeah, he basically changes to the perception of the people around him. Matter of fact, because I caught a little clip where he was actually at a party that Easter or Ishtar was throwing. So I'm like, oh man, that's why I gotta really sit down and get into it. But it's pretty cool. And then you got who else? Mr. Ibis. Which as soon as I saw him, matter of fact, Mr. Ibis and Mr. Jackal, I automatically knew who they were. Like point blank, period. Matter of fact, Mr. Ibis is Toth. You know what I'm saying? Jehudi. Matter of fact, he owns a funeral home and he's the god of right and the god of wisdom. Matter of fact, because as soon as the thing started off with him being black, because the first thing came to mind was gods of Egypt. Because I'm like, all right, that was like the only realistic black character they put in gods of Egypt. But when I saw him and he would dip his little pen in the well and he would just be telling stories and writing, I'm like, all right, that's Toth. He's taking a record of everything and telling stories, you know what I'm saying? So the god of writing, wisdom, and magic, Mr. Ibis, the funeral home owner. And he owns and runs the funeral home with Mr. Jekyll, or or you could see Jekyll as Jackal, or Anubis, you know what I'm saying, the god of the afterlife, you know what I'm saying, along with Jehudi, who puts the heart and the feather on the scale, which they actually have that in the show. When the person died, Anubis let them know, like, all right, man, it's time to come get your way up, come get weighed in, you know what I'm saying? They put that heart and that feather and make sure that heart don't weigh heavier than that feather, you know what I'm saying? But and two, looking at these characters is more of a personification of why I resonate, you know, with Jehud and always did with Toth. You know what I'm saying? When I first found out Toth, the god of writing, and how he was one of the people that's in Atlantis, and he travels in between all the timelines and stuff like that, and dealing with death, and then he has a funeral home in this. In this show, and my family owns a funeral home. My favorite wrestler was The Undertaker. So I see like, and nothing happens for a coincidence. So seeing, like the life I chose, I'm like, I see a little resonance right there. But that's basically it. And that's all the old gods. And then two, you have the few new gods, you know what I'm saying? And the personification of this is so real because, say for instance, what we give our energy to, it grows, you know what I'm saying? And in essence, some of us give worship and energy to things that aren't gods, and the newer gods is a personification of that. Because one of the gods is Technical Boy. You know, it's the God of technology, and he deals with infinite knowledge. But it's basically, matter of fact, personified like he should be a little young, the young white guy with nothing but acne in his face. Basically, almost in essence, look like a young computer programmer in essence. You know what I'm saying? But technical bar, you know, who's a guy that developed after all this technology, after everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like that, you know, that's how that guy come about. You know, and next you have the goddess of media played by Scully from X Files, if y'all familiar with X Files, but you have the goddess of media, and she deals like with news and celebrity, and basically her powers is she projects herself into any medium or TV or film. You know what I'm saying? So she'll project herself. Like matter of fact, they had scenes with Shadow Moon watching TV, and she was Marilyn Manson on the TV and one thing, and then she was something else. You know, but basically has that ability to project herself in different mediums. Now, I don't know too much on her powers, but I just me, you know, giving an intuitive guess, I would think, you know, it would probably be with manipulating, you know, information maybe or something since it's media, you know, or some type of form of influence or manipulation. So I would assume that even though I haven't seen like the actual, you know, what her actual powers is. And then you have a guy, which this character, because I saw two different videos explaining characters. Now one person explained a guy in jail that was in jail with a Shadow Moon as a as the guy Loki. But then another video I saw placed this guy called Mr. World, who's always checking up on Mr. Wednesday or whatever. But they call him Loki in another video. So it's one of the things, and that's what, you know, with me not getting the fullness of it, you know, myself, but I still want to deliver the information. But you know, I'm not sure on this one, you know, with who's Loki. You know, I'm sure about the other ones. The other ones are just surefire facts. You know, you can't deny, you know, who Mr. Wednesday is and who Mr. Ibis and Mr. Jackal. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's blaringly obvious to people who even didn't, you know what I'm saying, who even wouldn't have no background on these things. But they got this guy called Mr. World. He's the god of mischief and trickery. Matter of fact, another Norse mythology, a northern Germanic god, and he's the considered to be the god called Loki. You know, he's like in some instances they consider him the brother of Odin, Mr. Wednesday, or like a son of Odin. But he's like an evil trickster because he ended up creating like in the mythology, he ended up creating like evil beings like I forgot. Matter of fact, I don't want to slaughter it because it's not coming up to mind right now. But I think an evil wolf is one of them, but there's another little type of animal or evil thing that that's in the mythology of it. But that's basically it. You know what I'm saying? That's the newer guy. So it's just really like three new guys, and then uh, you know, a few older guys. In which though that's so far from the information I got, because the fact that I haven't watched this fully, or that, you know, that I am getting information, you know, from other outlets of people who, you know, watching themselves. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like, I could see if this information was put out by the guy who wrote the book, you know what I'm saying? But this is, you know, basically other people doing some what I'm doing now. But uh, for sure, most of the older guys are, you know, on point. Like I said, I can't remember some of the guys' names, but like I said again, this show is like so, it's very ingenious. Y'all should definitely go watch it. It's on Stars, called American Gods, and again, there's a personification of what's really you could see. Because I feel like, and this is no coincidence that this show come out at this time when we're awakening, you know, because I actually feel like that. I feel like, you know, like technology and media done built up so much power, people worship and watch it so much and give it so much energy that it could turn into a god that combats the older gods or all the Papa Legba's and Oshuns and what I'm saying, all the old school gods could be wiped away through all this new, you know, and that's an interesting concept. Which technology boy was funny or technical boy, I thought about it, I'm like, even though he may be opposing the old gods, no pun intended, technically, he is also helping keep them alive because in this, in the internet age, we get most of our information about gods through technology. So I thought that was an interesting thing to think of, which they don't talk about that in the actual show, but I thought about that outside of the show, like like technical part going against the guys. But I'm like, shit, my computer and my phone is the reason why I know about gods on that level and essence. Of course, it's in my DNA, and I could meditate and have these conversations with my inner being and find out about different gods and what I've been in different incarnations. But you know, outside of that, the technology helps get that too. But just wanted to bring that up. Spoiler alert. But definitely should check that out. But peace. Happy now. Now is the vibrate. Not too far in the future. Not too far in the past. Right